day, good morning, and welcome to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center here in Oakville, Ontario, and day number 3 of the 2023 President's Cup. It is a big one for the Oakville Rock, who will play 2 games, and as you can see here, against Edmonton, could have a chance to make a 3-way tie for second place with 2-1 records. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Brian Shanahan as we get you set for Oakville and Edmonton. And Edmonton have 2 players, Shanny, Levi Anderson, and Mike Triolo, on top of the scoring leaderboard in this tournament.
Yeah, first game we did together, those 2 guys were outstanding despite losing 10-9, and it seemed like Triolo, everything he shot could go in the net. But Levi Anderson, he's been a fun player to watch. He's great on his feet, great stick work, and I believe eligible for the NLL draft this year. So I am sure there's a lot of scouts that are watching him closely.
Yeah, buy into that stock because it's on the rise here. As Anderson will get it first, the opening faceoff goes the way of the Miners, who are in their white jerseys, working left to right, away from Cam McLeod. And Nick Rose for the Oakville Rock has his first save out of the way. Anderson had 7 points in each of his first 2 games, and then regressed to just a paltry 5 in yesterday's. Has scored 2 goals in every single game so far in the tournament. Screen on the far side, knocked down the Miners player, no call, although the shot off a body. Picked back up by Jarrett Toll, and across the line, Justin Morgan will try and set up this high-powered Miners offense yet again. No Anderson this time, although Mike Triolo is running around up top. Melnick goes to look for him for a pass, and it's intercepted. Here comes Jamison Dilks.
That's where the Oakville Rock was so good yesterday, knocking down, creating loose balls from defense, and intercepting passes. And Dilks, nice one there. Wasn't able to get a clear-cut breakaway, though.
And turning it into immediate transition, especially in that first period. From the outside, Lanchbury will break the ice with a defender all over him.
Yeah, Lanchbury, the leading goal scorer in the Ontario Senior B Loop this year. Had a goal and 5 assists yesterday. He starts off the scoring on this nice shot. He steps up high, and it's a quick release. Beautiful shot.
Andrew Q, Marley Angus should pick up assists on that first goal. Q was the player of the game last night.
Did Q change his number? Was he not 42 yesterday? He's 24 today.
That's correct.
He threw me off there.
Yeah.
I thought he was out of the line. I was looking for number 42 in the game sheet. Didn't see it.
Oh, he'll make himself known before too long, I'm sure. Miners wanting a call as Jason Williamson got knocked down. It's going to be in the stick of Phil Mazuka. 3 additions to this Rock roster from last night. Jason Knox is in, Luke Robinson, and Jordan McKenna, which means that Cam Milligan, Dylan Watson, and Joey Zabo are on the sidelines for this first one. Again, the Rock will be back at their traditional 8 p.m. time slot later this evening to face another 2-1 team, the Snake Island Muskies, who have been off for what should feel like a week after playing
nonstop.
3 games in 25 hours. Penalty coming up here to Oakville. Probably could have got another one there to slash as well, as Kinnear will launch it into the corner. And it'll be a slashing call against Oakville.
A pretty deep lineup, this Toronto Rock. They're sitting guys like, Luke Robbins has scored over 20 goals this season. Knox, I think he scored about 30. So they've got some deep talent on this roster, which should be no surprise, a team that went 15-1 in the regular season.
Your officiating crew, by the way, Marcus Fisher, Jacoby Craftsman, and Herbie John, the standby official in the penalty box. Those off-ball slashes have been called consistently throughout the tournament. Day number 3 now as Anderson takes a shot. That was through a screen, and Nick Rose, as he so often does, has the angle cut down. Callum Jones looking to run away from Tristan Rye. Ball will come all the way back up to Lanchbury. Open the scoring on the first shot of the game for Oakville. Trying to run away from Mike Seidel, one of many players in this tournament at this point who got a little banged up yesterday, but still out there. And when you watch these teams warm up, there are plenty of wrists and hands and knees. And
when you're playing 2 games in one day, you're going to get some banged up players.
I don't know what the tape budget is for this tournament, but it's got to be up there. Triolo, Anderson.
Tape and ice.
Bergloff out of the corner. Behind the back from Triolo. It's Rye that takes the shot, goes after the rebound, and it will be picked up by Christensen. Anderson faking the shot. Second phase of this power play set. And Triolo's shot hit a body in front, went wide. No over and back here. We remind you under CLA rules.
And that first game we did, Triolo scored 5 goals. Took him a while to find his range, but when he did, he was seemingly unstoppable that game.
And I think this is a new stick for him today.
Oh, that was right. I remember he worked on his stick.
Yeah, it had blue shooters with a white mesh. This one is all black, it looks like, on the head. So
sharp eye there, Matt.
See how long it takes to get that one dialed in. Adam J. had a couple transition goals last night. He'll find Luke Robinson. It's only seconds remaining here in the power play. And the Rock will wait it out. Still with only 4 guys on the floor. Shot clock was down as well, so they'll just use that time to put a defender out.
The Rock decided just put on a defenseman. They would be losing the ball in a couple seconds anyhow. No sense getting a forward to run all the way up and back.
Of course, last night it was leaving a man back because Tuscarora liked to run that play, and then the Rock turned it into offense with a couple goals when they stuck a change in.
Yeah, good coaching. Eventually, Matt Sawyer burned Tuscarora on that play when the defender snuck to the bench for an offensive body.
Brandon Slade got knocked down and then recovered in time to make sure that Matt Christensen didn't get a shot, and the shot clock expires there on the Miners. They played their double yesterday and won both of their games, along with Tuscarora and Six Nations, who lost both of them. And there is Q with that outside shot.
Andrew Q, normally 42, wearing 24. I don't know if it's just a lucky thing for him or what, but just steps around. You're going to see that this is him getting the ball here. Steps around. Nice pick by the big body Knox. And yeah, we talked about it over and over yesterday. Andrew Q, one of the best outside shooters there is, not just in this tournament, anywhere.
I think these are the same jerseys. Of course, being the host, they've got their full complement down in their locker room, so pretty sure they did wear their navies last night. Most of the other teams here only have been wearing one set. Bridge to the outside.
And I can say without a doubt the Oakville Rock has the nicest dressing rooms in this tournament.
Oh, yes.
Now, if fans at home don't realize, this is where the Toronto Rock practice. The Oakville Rock use the same dressing room, and it is as good as any NHL locker room, dressing room. It is beautiful. Carpeted, big screen TVs, ice baths, everything.
All the other teams do have dedicated rooms, but they're mostly the ones that are used for either visiting teams or community teams.
Yeah, it's your typical arena dressing rooms otherwise.
This is the other cue. Alex trying to catch up to that bomb pass from Bill Hostrauser, and Rock captain will get it back. Andrew Q taking the place of Alex now on the floor. Hostrauser will stay up. Got a couple points last night, did Hostrauser.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obvious he's one of my favorite players, Hostrauser, and I think he's really matured as a player over the years, you know, through his NLL career, and obviously giving him the C is indicative of how much of a leader he is on this team.
Tristan Rye passing to the outside. Christensen, believe that was intended to find Triolo, but bounced off the shaft of his stick and fell at the feet of Adam J., who is on the move from Toronto. And then Zach Mann's going to Saskatchewan for Mark Matthews as if that Rock offense wasn't bad enough.
That's a blockbuster move.
Oh, man.
And I think that's one of those moves that's good for both teams. As Sask is in a bit of a rebuild. Zach Mans is becoming a superstar. Adam Jay is a great defensive transition player. But we all know what Mark Matthews has done in his career. So the Rock get a fantastic offensive player right now. And I think Sask gets some really good future.
Here's Anderson. No word on whether or not Baby Shark has to go with Mans in that trade, but I guess we'll find out. Anderson, cross floor, up top for Melnick. 5 to shoot. They go quick stick to Rye all the way across, and Callum Jones will scamper over and pick up the rebound. Ostrowser going to wait it out, a minute 40 away from the halfway mark of this first period. The Rock have 2 goals off 3 shots.
Very efficient shooting.
Miners 0 for 5 so far. Make it 3 for 4 as Luke Robinson welcome back to the lineup.
Yeah, Robinson scored 2 goals in that opening loss to Six Nations. And that's what I was saying earlier, such a deep lineup. You could take guys like this out, and he's just in a nice shooting spot. And again, they're shooting. It's so funny how things change. They could not score against Six Nations. Just 4 goals in that game. Now, as you mentioned, 3 goals on 4 shots. And I can't blame the goaltending here either. Like these were all excellent shots.
There are sharp shooters and snipers over on that Rock bench and pick the corners at will. Matt Sawyer not happy that Rye was taking some liberties with Jamison Dilks. Shot comes in and Nick Rose is there to make the save. Jay leading the counterattack. He'll flip it to Lanchbury. Shoots over top of everybody. Goes off the end boards. Now Lanchbury and Seidel shoving with each other at the restraining line.
Having a nice discussion on the way off the floor, too.
Seidel has been a thorn in the side of many a player on the opposite bench throughout this tournament. Ostrowser nearly jumped the route there. The pass between Melnick and Triolo. This is a good matchup here. Triolo and Ostrowser, although Triolo pulled the swim move and on the crease, Rosie goes right to left to make the save.
That was a very nice save. I think that was Tristan Rice with that opportunity. Rose came over.
McLeod denies the breakout attempt from Slade.
Yeah, tough matchup. Triolo, I think we mentioned the other 6'8", being covered by 5'10" Ostrowser.
Well, that's why Triolo, that swim move works so well. He's just reached right over the top. Speaking of over the top, that's where the shot comes from Zach Kearney.
4 different scores for the Rock. 4 goals on 6 shots. Very similar. Every goal has been an outside shot, but whatever extra shooting the Rock did after their loss on Monday or Sunday has done them well. And yes, there is. I was just going to say, I wonder if they'll consider a goaltending change. Not to blame McLeod on those goals, but Hebert is in net now, and sometimes it's just to shake up things a little bit.
Hebert played the opening game yesterday against, who was their first one? Tuscarora, I believe, to open the day. Picked up the win before McLeod came back in against Six Nations. 4 goals off 6 shots, 4 different scorers, and 4 points for Ryan Lanchbury.
And I would not be surprised, depending on how things go, I would not be surprised to see McLeod back in. He hasn't taken his mask off either. So I think he's hoping to be back in.
Lanchbury up top again, off the shoulder. He'll test.
And you know the Rock will. They will continue. They will try to get the new goalie right away.
63 shots on net last night. 16 of those finding the mesh for their first win of the tournament. Levi Anderson keeping him quiet so far, the tournament points leader. And in behind the play, there is the change. They got to hurry it up, though, as it comes off the glass. And the Rock are going to send 3 in transition. Slade.
I think Matt McLeod, who's back in net, this is where he wants to get a big save. This is where the team wants a big save to say, okay, we've changed things up.
From the outside.
Oh, boy.
What do you do with that from Dan Lintner?
Oh, my gosh. That's tough. I feel bad for McLeod. First shot he faces, another outside shot, but another perfect shot around a screen. And they're going back to the goaltending change again. But watch Lintner here, steps around. That is just an excellent shot. I really don't think McLeod has let in a bad goal. I mean, sometimes it just happens. The shooting is sharp, and this Oakville Rock has had some unbelievably sharp shooting so far.
This time the mask does come off for McLeod as Hebert is back. Made one save while he was in between the pipes for that one offensive set. Christensen, Triolo, he'll pull the swim move and the ball rolls out of his stick. Although right to the Rock, and Sheldon Burns gonna lead transition this time. May have caught a piece of Chris Weir on the shot.
You know, I love Oakville executing that 2-on-1.
Now the steal, and Zach Kearney almost had his second.
There's two things you can do on 2-on-1. Get open for the pass or run interference. Chris Weir decided there he didn't want to receive the pass. He would just run interference to let his teammates shoot.
Miners need one. Gonna try and get one from Triolo.
Nice opportunity, but Rose has been sharp so far.
He has. And
because really, look at the shots. The shots are 9-8. So the shots are not indicative of the score. 9-8 for the Rock.
Here's Q. Outside sidearm shot. Doesn't matter what number he wears. Still finds the back of the net.
I am feeling bad for these goaltenders, facing the best shooting I've seen from this Oakville Rock all year. And again, it's Q. And, Q doesn't have the hardest shot. Great placement. There's something deceptive about his outside shot.
And that's going to lead to an Edmonton timeout. Remember,
yeah, I think it's a wise call.
They lost to Ladner on the first day of this tournament. And, I mean, the talk around this building is you don't want to lose 2 games. That'll put you in danger with only the top 4 coming back on Friday to play in the semifinals. So they've got Ladner out of the way. There are two things you look at on the schedule. Where's the double? The Miners have done that.
Yeah.
Where's Ladner? And the Miners have also done that. But,
yeah.
I mean, this could be trouble here for Edmonton.
And I think the message that Jordan Cornfield has probably given these guys is they are not playing bad. Sooner or later, the ball has to go in. But as much as possible, the defenders have to get on the hands of the outside shooters. You can't allow shooters like Andrew Q, Ryan Lanchbury to be able to step into shots like that. You have to get on their hands. Well, that's just to mention a couple of shooters on Oakville Rock.
You can keep going down the list.
Yes.
And if you do that, I'll always worry where Dan Lintner is because he can shoot from the crease up top. He can be a setup man.
Yeah, I think of Lintner more as a quick stick guy in the crease, but as he does have a pretty good outside shot, as we saw in that last goal.
Had an unreal first couple games of the tournament, I guess last night.
Couple last night, too. Was it 2 goals, right?
Yeah, Kinnear, shot from the outside. Rosie will pick it up. Now Lanchbury up for Lintner. Lanchbury got filled in as that ball was bouncing around. 6 minutes to go here in the first. Already 6-0 for Oakville. They led 7-2 after the first period last night against Tuscarora, after coming out and scoring just 4 in their opening game. Rock will play twice today. Snake Island coming up at 8 o'clock. This is our only game today, Shanny, you and I. Triolo rips one right in the midsection of Nick Rose. Jake Elliott, Pat Gregoire will take you through the rest of the day, which includes Tuscarora, Kahnawake at 2 o'clock. Six Nations and Ladner at 5. And then, of course, Oakville, Snake Island coming up, our primetime game at 8 o'clock. There's some big games for big teams.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Andrew Q already has the hat trick. Let's watch this. You know, I talked about the defenders have to get on his hands. And watch, he doesn't really get a chance for a big wind-up. You know, good job by Marley Angus to sort of push the defender back to give Q a little bit more room. I mean, the coaches, you got to hope that your goalies can stop some of those outside shots. You know, you don't want to give them, but the shooting percentage on Oakville's outside shots is just ridiculous.
Clean face-off win to Jay. He tries to go quick stick back across the crease to Angus, who got into a couple games with the big Toronto Rock here in Hamilton this season, was kind of in and out of the lineup, but when he was in there, didn't look out of place either.
No. But getting talk about those outside shots again. You know, most shooters can score on their outside shots on, maybe 50% of the time. Oakville right now on their outside shots, they're shooting like 80, 90%. It's ridiculous.
Still have yet to hear from Triolo and Anderson. Highlighted them off the top, the leading scorers in this tournament. And the Miners' high-powered offense getting shut out right now by Rose, who makes another save. McKenna down to the crease. The trailer is Dawick. Wasn't it McLeod who did that yesterday in 44 minutes without surrendering? Slash will be called here against Seidel as Jones picks up.
Exactly what Edmonton does not need.
Right.
Give the Oakville Rock a power play.
A power play that was lethal last night, 3 for 4. By the end of it, it was, 3 for 7 with a bunch of penalties late in that game. But I think it was actually 4 goals on those power plays throughout the game. A couple majors sprinkled in. Dawick started as quarterback.
7 goals and just 11 shots for Oakville.
Lanchbury thought he had the quick stick open net, but Matt Hebert had other ideas. There's a reset, though. Lanchbury fakes, and that one's going to hit off the body of Cody Hawkins. And Burton will carry it out and over center.
This is what I was talking about yesterday we saw from Hunter Lemieux. This is where you get the ball to a big body on Miners and just drive it to the net. Drive it to the net, and if you don't get a scoring pass chance, try to draw a penalty, because Edmonton needs something to change.
Fake from way outside by Christensen. Does get the low shot to hit off Rose. Believe it would have beat the shot clock, but there was no one around anyways. And credit Oakville defensively. Hostrauser and Weir have taken care of Triolo when you talk about that big body. Lanchbury shot off the shoulder. The story's out that Triolo can do damage, but in yesterday's game, Six Nations tried it, and he had his way with their defense still.
Well, you mentioned about the swim move. The swim move is so much easier for the big guys. 6'8" defender, it's just easier to come over top. But what I don't understand is guys like Sean Evans could do the swim move, but I think of it as it's a move made for guys like Dan Dawson and Triolo.
Sean Evans can do pretty much
Yes,
whatever he
exactly.
wants.
He swims under. There's Triolo. I think he's got to drive the net.
And Phil Mazuka on him
Oh my
now.
gosh, that
Hostrouser
was
will come in to help.
Good defense between Mazuka and Hostrouser.
And Triolo grabbed Hostrouser in behind the play and shoved him down. And, of course, Hostrouser going to stare him down afterwards.
Yeah, and I don't think Hostrouser is looking for a fight, but
he's not even back down.
If he was going to take somebody off the floor with him, Triolo's not a bad guy for a defensive player to take off the floor with you.
Blanchbury running out of time. Tries to twist at the side of the crease, and they're going to give him the reset. Tie up in the middle. Jason Knox.
There's some rough work in the corner.
Then goes in on Jones. Going to open him up for a shot. And Jones goes right back after Knox. That's been going on for a while.
Yeah. And that's Mike Seidel again. Mike Seidel appears to be the tough guy on this team. 6'5", 240. Just a small guy compared to Triolo. Not that I'm hoping to see a fight or anything, but keep your eye on Tridell and Hostrouser. So if anybody's taking liberties from this Edmonton team right now, it's probably Seidel. And if anyone was ever sent out to try to tell him to stop, it would probably be Hostrouser.
Right. Well, if we see Hostrouser come out the front door,
Yes.
I think we'll have an idea of what's up. That's definitely not where he's been, although has, stayed up a couple times in transition, as we said. Anderson dancing around the corner. He tries the swim move, but we're there to stuff it. Triolo chased towards the front of the net by Adam J that time. And every time I looked up, it was a couple of the big guys, but seems like just every defender has been able to control Triolo today.
Yeah, they've knocked the ball out of his stick a few times. He better go back to that stick he used in game one.
Under a minute to go. Swim move from Q already with 3. Bouncer can't get past Hebert, but he'll get his own rebound.
And have I got it correct that Hebert's only allowed 1 goal since coming in?
I
don't know if it's
believe
1 or
so.
2. I'd have to check. But he's played well. A good penalty kill.
Came in at 5-0. McLeod came back in for 6.
Yeah,
And
I think
then
the first
switched to
time
Rio.
Hebert came in, there was no goal scored. It was the first time they got the ball back. He changed.
Yep. Oakville is going to burn timeout here with 21.9 left and 22 on their shot clock, so basically a non-factor. And yesterday they had a 6-on-6 play drawn up. We'll see what they've got for 4-on-4.
Don't spend a lot of time practicing the 6-on-6s.
Look at the Oakville bench, who again are doing the double here today, playing Edmonton at 2-1. And later tonight, Snake Island at 2-1, coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's still a long way to go in this game, but if things keep going Oakville's way, that gives them, the ability to, maybe take Nick Rose out.
Yeah.
You
Sam Haynes did play 5 minutes at the end of last night's game. And with the big win last night and, the score the way it is here, goal differential is starting to be perhaps a non-factor with all the other close games that we've seen too. The other thing we have to look with, we're 3 days into this thing, and there's going to be a bunch of teams with 2 wins.
Yeah.
Ladner's got a chance to finish the day with 3. As
they look like they're getting better as they go along.
That's a scary thought, because they were pretty good when they got here.
Yes. They seem to salvage that win against the Miners, their first game, but Sure looked good yesterday.
Defending champs for a reason. Here comes the play. Dawick up top. Skip shot from Q. Still 3 seconds to go. Picked out of the corner. Marley Angus in front.
Oh, boy.
And they did get one just before the horn, but not enough to go in. And it'll be 7-0 Oakville, who are still rolling after a big win last night.
Well, I will say I think that Hebert has stopped the bleeding. I think he's played very well since he's come in. Killed one penalty, and the majority of this one, well, actually, this is 4-on-4. That was a 5. They pulled their goalie for the extra man.
Either way, Oakville Rock are still big win last night. Big first period here. Can they keep it going in the second? You're watching day number 3 of the 2023 President's Cup from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville. We'll take the timeout and talk to you in 9.5 minutes. Back getting set for the second period. Teams are out, and it was Oakville that were out and running in that first. 7-0 over Edmonton. We've got Lanchbury for 6 points, 10 different players registering points. Andrew Q with a hat trick. And, I mean, the struggles of 2 nights ago are long forgotten, Shannon.
Oh, gosh, yes. And it looks like they're going to continue with Hebert. He kind of stopped the bleeding in that first period. I don't think he allowed a goal in the last 5 minutes, but, yeah, Oakville, 7 goals on 18 shots now. At one point it was 7 goals on 11 shots. And in fact, at one point it seemed like Oakville could not shoot without scoring.
From all comers and from all angles. Well, not letting too much happen on the other end of things either. Still 24 seconds left in the offsetting minor penalties, so we'll be 4-on-4 to start this period. Alex Q and Matt Kim hit the face-off. Kim scoring with that wooding, uses it for face-offs, defense, and offense here in this tournament.
And it doesn't look like he's got much of a pocket on it either.
No, the guys were saying that yesterday too, but knows what to do with it. Here's Q. Man off the bench is Dawick, as there's another penalty coming up here to the Miners. As they touch it up, it'll be a slashing call. And I have a feeling that's going to be the call of the day here throughout this period, as there's been...
Looks like it's Aaron Duff, I believe, going off.
Duff did not play in the second game of yesterday.
They got a lot of big bodies on this team. He's another guy, 6'3", 250 pounds. Oh my gosh.
Doesn't sound like fun, especially when you pair it with the offense, although not on display today, but shot from Lanchbury on display as it goes past Hebert.
Did you say he had 5 or 6 points coming into this period? But
I've got him for 5 assists. Officially, they've only got 4, so somebody perhaps picked one up that shouldn't have, but either way,
yes, he's having a good game. 2 goals and at least 4 assists. And I think...
does he have a bucket hat yet? No, I think Lintner got the first one, and Q got yesterday. Yeah. Is that correct?
I don't know about the first one, but yeah, it was definitely Q yesterday.
I think Lanchbury might be getting some new headwear
Yep.
by the end of this game. Triolo cuts the corner, tries to bounce her.
And Edmonton needs something out of their offense. Triolo has not been shooting nothing like he shot that first game. And Levi Anderson, we haven't really noticed him.
Well, he's got his young child with him, who was out on the floor in between periods and tried to see if a kiss for good luck would help for Triolo. Pass out. Number of players collided in front, including Duff, who was fresh out of the penalty box. Loose ball that
looked like a ball that Edmonton should have had. Nothing going their way right now.
Dawick takes it all the way into the corner, leaping in one motion. The shot from Luke Robinson, already with a goal in that first period. Trying to stay in this lineup, perhaps. Williamson. Miners will go to Rye, who gets shoved to the outside, and then run all the way down the boards by Callum Jones. Coming over, looking for the stick, was Phil Mazuka.
That was some excellent defense by Callum Jones.
And Mazuka's going to go to the cage. Yeah. Can't go after the loose ball.
Jones
ran through the
had
crease.
Rye pinned to the boards. And the trick is not to get overly aggressive once you get him there, because the referee's just looking to make a call. And there was nothing the referee could call. It was good defense.
And something happened in the exchange to Jones as he's gone to seek the attention of the trainer. Here's Q. From the outside, he'll pass behind the net. A couple players were there that could have caught it, and Lanchbury from a bad angle just trying to beat the shot clock. Looked like the save was made, but moot point as the Miners pick up the rebound. Go to Triolo.
This has been his game today. Things are just not working for Triolo as he runs over his man but then falls down.
I was going to say the first time that Alex Q had postured up against him, and you're right, Triolo just lost his footing. Littner brings it off the
ball
crossbar.
Almost came to you, Matt.
Yeah. I want the souvenir, but I'm not sure I want it that badly. Andrew Q to the outside. Tournament of attrition. I'm trying to stay in it.
Yeah, they needed to give us an extra rest today. We're sitting out.
Q, hard shot. Apparently, I got to be stats department after this. I don't know when that happened, but. Duff gets knocked down over top of the loose ball, and they'll award possession to the Miners. And trying to remember the last time that they were given a possession on either interference or something else of the sort.
It's a good defense by Aaron Duff. Here's Anderson's got the ball. Let's see if he can make something happen.
No Triolo on this set, which has worked for them in the past. Take him off for a couple. And then, not that he sneaks back onto the floor by any stretch, but just gives the defense something else to look at. Hostrauser going to lead transition here. Goes back to the crease and diving through Jordan McKenna. Sounds like he rang it off the post.
You know, we've been talking about the offense on the Rock all game, but the defense has been outstanding, causing turnovers, just not allowing Miners to do anything.
And then when they do get shots, you know, perennial goaltender of the year sitting back there.
Zach
when
Kearney.
they start bouncing your way, they'll bounce your way. Look out here.
I miss how that interaction started after the goal, but I know at least one player from the Rock is going to the penalty box, but watch Kearney on a pick and roll. Actually, he just gets the rebound, but has the patience to come across. Okay, that's, I think Josh Dawick kind of walked into Hebert.
And when the gloves got up there, Knox came in to defend him.
Knox.
I believe Knox is getting the only penalty here, 2 up on the board, as well as the goal.
Knox, the grandson of the great Jack Bionda, one of the best players in the history of Canadian box lacrosse. His name is up there with Bobby Allen. In fact, they played at the same time and were teammates at one point.
Here's Triolo. See what Edmonton can do with their first power play. Second power play of the afternoon. 0 for 1 starting. And it was an errant pass that started it off. Triolo here for Anderson. No shot. Christensen can't get one through the middle either. Takes a huge chop there from Jay. And then gets knocked down from behind. Christensen still on the carpet. Another penalty coming here. They're going to wait for Hebert to get to the bench. No, Anderson going to fire a shot. It gets blocked by Chris Weir.
So they're going to get a good opportunity. The Miners are with a 2-man advantage. They have to take advantage of this.
9-0. This needs to be the time. Minute 26 of extra power play. Rocker already up to 25 shots. Miners don't have one on target yet this period. Anderson, Triolo. Snipes.
Oh, sometimes you don't need anything fancy. Really not much ball movement out there at all, but Triolo just decides to take advantage of the space he had and step in to take a shot. Did you see him working on his stick in between periods?
No.
Nope.
No.
So the first goal for Edmonton comes on a 2-man advantage, and they will go straight back to the power play.
Yep, that one coming 5-on-3, so a minute 38 left of power play time, and they'll go right back to Triolo. By the way, Anderson picking up an assist on that goal, as well as Melnick. So Triolo and Anderson continue to rise up the scoring leaderboards here at the President's Cup. Looking for Rye, went off the boards, and Jones going to run past everybody. He's got Slade with him. Jones takes the shot, and Hebert stood there and took it.
Some great speed by Jones on that rush.
Toll. Anderson.
Edmonton's slow to get their man on.
Yeah. Didn't realize it despite their captain Triolo screaming at the bench. Melnick behind his back to set up Anderson. Here for Triolo, the twist shot.
Oh, try
Caught
that twister. Yeah,
by
great play.
Rose. And down floor, Mazuka. But how about the speed from Burton? Tyler Burton coming all the way from off the bench to catch up and take away the 2-on-nobody breakaway. If you go to the tournament website, by the way, presidentscup.lacrosse.ca, the Day 2 recap, Steven Stamps got the story of Tyler Burton, and it's a pretty good one. Kind of a half season to start in the NLL, then got out for a couple years and came back in, and hard play has just kept him in a regular spot.
Well, I look forward to reading that.
Triolo. Kind of a short description in his full day recap, but it's in there and it deserves to be told.
I always enjoy reading Stamper's articles.
I know he's been watching the games. Should we say hello, Steven? Slade off the bench. Here's Q. 1 for 3 on the power play now are the Miners. So we've gone back to even strength. That one scored by Triolo when they were up 5-on-3. Miners swarming after this loose ball. Q couldn't pick it up. Golka does and starts out in transition, but it's him and 4 Rock players.
Really good job for the Rock to get their defense on early. They're giving no transition. They don't want to give Edmonton a chance to climb back in this game. Moving pick.
I think it was actually too many because the Miners had one
you're
back.
Right. You're right.
And sent one off the floor. So Q setting up again. Lanchbury had to double clutch a little bit and then shot it wide. Halfway through the shot clock, Q. Knox trying to make space. Dawick can't find the cutting Lintner. Q has to play it in the corner with under 5 to shoot. He'll just skip it in on Hebert. And does get the reset, but Hebert's got the rebound. Toll now in attacking territory. Rock have 10 shots, 2 goals off 10 shots in the period. 1 goal off 2 shots for the Miners. That was touched with the hand of Mazuka, and he knew it right away. Triolo from the outside turns and fires. And since that first period of the tournament, those have been going in all day. And just not so far this morning.
Oakville's done a great job of making sure he hasn't really been able to step into his shot. And obviously can't do anything when it's a 5-on-3 power play.
Here comes Jordan McKenna. Newcomer to the lineup. Guys were talking yesterday, that one name and number that you just can't get, and I've fallen for it. It's something about this comfy chair that Jake's got, I think. Blanchbury, sidearm shot into Hebert. Duff falls over back at the restraining line. Got some help because there's a penalty coming. And Hebert will come to the bench as well. Jake Elliott, Pat Gregoire will be back for the final 3 games of the day starting at 2 p.m. Rye here in the corner, including the Oakville Rock returning to the floor at 8 p.m. against Snake Island. A huge game. Looks like it's going to be a huge one for both of those teams.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's the game of the day.
Thought this might have been game of the day, but
no, you're right.
Oakville really kind of spoiling our plans.
They have been dominant, but some power plays have made it. I don't know if I want to say that Edmonton's back in it yet, but they've stopped the Rock.
I don't know that I'm going to count this offense of the Miners ever out of it, but it has been a struggle through a period and a half so far here today. 9-1 for the hosts.
Well, they really have to take advantage of these power plays. This is their 3rd one. They scored on the 2-man advantage.
Outside here, Marley Angus grabs his own rebound and a fresh 30 seconds, allowing the Rock to take some more time off that penalty clock. On top, Blanchbury. At least 6 points already in the game. Blanchbury for Dawick. Skip shot comes in on Hebert. Rebound out to the corner, where Kim will send it across to Rory Sharon. Also didn't play in the afternoon tilt yesterday. Triolo. 38 seconds left now in this power play. Anderson will give it to Triolo, to Melnick in the corner. Kim cutting through. They can't find him. Under 10 of the shot clock. They go quick stick to Christensen. And that will get the reset.
Nick Rose just seems to be expecting those. That quick stick wasn't even close. Rose had closed the door already. You know, good goalies can read the plays, and Rose is excellent at doing that.
Rye up top, no shot from Anderson or Triolo. Behind the back, Rye to Christensen on the crease, and Rose will make the save. Part of playing a team that you're so familiar with on opening day, you don't really have to scout too much. Whereas if they had played, let's say, Edmonton on day number 1, team that you match up with quite well, you know, they've had 3 games to see what the Miners have.
Yeah. Well, you know the scouting report is minimize Triolo and Anderson.
Sure.
And the Rock have done a fantastic job doing that.
And McLeod, a local goaltender, so a lot of footage and information on him perhaps. And the fact that, you know, they are the hosts. They live close to the arena. They're not interested in being tourists while they're off their games or hanging out in the hotel or things of that nature. Look out down the floor. This is Mazuka. His shot off Hebert. And Alex Q in there digging for the loose ball. Can't get it first, so he'll just take 2 Miners' bodies out of the play and allow Mazuka to pick it up for the fresh 30. Andrew Q. Already with a couple goals. 3 of them to be exact in that first period. Hebert denies his bid for a 4th. As you said, Shanny, since he came in for the long haul, 3-1 the score.
Yeah.
Triolo turns, cuts, and scores.
And for the first time this game, Triolo's able to take it to the net, beat his man, and finish it. And this game, it's looking a little bit like the game we did last night at Tuscarora. It's 2-2 in this second period. Triolo's got both goals for the Miners, and great play there as he dives across, bringing Rose with him, but putting it in the spot that Rose has just vacated.
And remember, under CLA rules, if you haven't been following the tournament, keeping his feet out of the cylinder is the key part of that play, so it's not a crease violation.
And that's the last 2 goals have gone to the Miners.
Well, they need those and a few more in succession. But got to start somewhere, and Burton will control the face-off after a good job done by Golka. Kinnear, under 6 to play here in the period. Both teams burned a timeout in that first one. Anderson to the outside, walks in, shoots, and hits Nick Rose, and they're out in transition again. Led by McKenna. Jordan McKenna, the cutback move, and the save made by Hebert. Look at Hostrauser.
Hostrauser took a bit of an extra run. With Sharon, he hit.
Toll on the crease to Melnick, and in the crease is going to be the call from the official.
Great save nonetheless.
Slade back the other way. Game's starting to open up a little bit here in the later stages of this second period. Q over the top, takes himself to his wrong side and still scores.
Different than what he's been doing with his other shots. He can pick corners all over the net. That's the first time he's gone to the top left. Often you see shooters and Q will come across and shoot back the direction they came from, but not here. He puts it in the top right-hand corner. I think Hebert thought he had that all covered.
A little bit of a lean to the left there as well. You could see he thought, along with you, Shanny, that that's exactly what Q was going to do. But, I mean, I want to say Andrew Q's patented move, but, I mean, he'd have a closet full of patents if we started calling it that. Adam J. and Anderson collide in the corner. Big battle for the loose ball, and it's going to go the Miners' way. Burton from outside. Triolo directing traffic. Burton needs a shot. He's going to try and dive, and he's in the crease.
Nice effort by Burton.
Triolo just kind of stood in front of 2 defenders and told him, you take it. Looked like Burton was looking past the whole way, but with only about 3 on the shot clock. Good use of his body. Cutter through was Lintner. Ball can't find him. Lintner gets taken down. A couple stick checks while he's down there. Trying to help him out is Zach Kearney. And
Edmonton would be wise just to let the shot clock go rather than trying to make any big hits, and they do just that.
Credit the work of Cody Hawkins on the floor. Keeping that away from a couple Oakville sticks. Spencer Milne as well. And Sharon were the 3 in there for the Miners. Milne, another big body on defense down there. Christensen.
That was a goal. Watch this pass. It almost looked like he lost the ball and it went right to Christensen. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to the Edmonton player, but watch this play. Who's that with the ball? Oh no, that's a pass. That's a nice little scoop pass.
Looks like Tyler
Melnick. Very difficult. Just flipped it out of his stick. And another goal. We're 3-3 this period.
So give 2 points now to Melnick, Triolo, and Christensen. Battle is on for this faceoff, and it's Kim winning it with a plastic stick this time. Back into Miners territory. Burton secured the possession. He'll give to Bergloff. Colin Bergloff with a hat trick in the opener yesterday morning. 3 to go here in the second. Triolo calls out the play. Jogs around the outside, but under 10 on his shot clock. Goes back to the swim move, and the shot sails over top of Nick Rose. Slade will chase the rebound all the way back towards Miners territory. In front of his own bench where the offense is streaming off. Andrew Q. Dances around. He's going to go back to that same move, except elects not to shoot this time. Hard pass from Lanchbury to the near side. Well falling. Luke Robinson gets the shot, and they're saying that
a little bit of an
Hebert.
argument, yeah.
And he's saying, no, it didn't, and the Miners are going to win the argument.
I thought it did, but nobody's asking me, so the ball does go to the Miners.
Told you last night, player of the game, out of play shots, we don't get a vote, Shanny. Here comes Anderson, the shot.
Although we picked the two correct ones yesterday.
Yeah, we did good. Bar is set high for Jumbo and Patty when they get back in. Jordan McKenna. He'll give to Q off the bench. Going to turn on the Jets. Comes in and fires it off Hebert. Rebound into the now wooden stick of Kim. Ryan Sharon will help it get across mid-floor. Final 90 seconds here of the second period. Much better one, all even 3-3 on the Miners side of things, but they're still down by 7 after that big first period.
Miners would love to get another one at the end of this period.
Slade looking for Alex Q down floor. Golka was out there with him. They go to the trailer, and it's bounced through the legs of Hebert by the trailing Jamison Dilks.
Nice finish by another defender on the rock, and just as it looks like the play is dead, that ball was leading Alex Q, but finds Dilks, and he just managed to get that opening in between the legs of Hebert. And that's tough. Edmonton wants to go to the dressing room with a positive feeling to say, we either tied or won this period. They're going to have to get one more goal if they want to say they tied the period.
And they're going to need to come out with their sticks, wheels, everything on fire for the third period. Triolo sent a shot through. Looked like it was going to be on target.
Look at the rock bench.
Yeah, if not for Hostrauser. Coming off the bench was Lintner. That one wasn't even close, to be honest.
Lintner checks his stick after gave his stick a little punch.
Lanchbury going to wait out the final play. Nick Rose still in the net down to our left. Lanchbury for Q. A lot of traffic.
Oh, boy.
And still scores. This just isn't fair.
We mentioned player of the game for Toronto. Very likely Lanchbury, but Andrew Q is stating a case that maybe I should be able to win it twice. But another assist by Lanchbury, but Andrew Q is just demonstrated ridiculous shooting this game. Again, this time same corner he went to on his last goal.
Andrew Q wants a hat trick of hats.
That's right. I think it's the unwritten rule that it doesn't go to the same guy more than once, but what's he at now, 5 goals?
5 for Andrew Q. Yep, looks like Edmonton after winning the face-off. Kim going back to the plastic face-off twig. They'll burn their final timeout here.
"39 shots for the Oakville Rock,
Oh, man.
21 for Edmonton. What did they get yesterday? 63 shots?
63 was what was showing here at the end of that game.
How many shots did they get against Six Nations? I know they outshot Six Nations, but I don't think.
That is a good question. I'd ask the stats department, but apparently we don't get one. Don't know how that works, but
we'll check in between periods. We'll become the stats guys in between periods.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they outshot Six Nations, but I don't think it was anywhere near 60.
I mean, Dusty Hill was fantastic in that game, but I mean that would be a 56 save performance, which quite noteworthy. Anderson will start up top after Edmonton burns their final timeout. 14 seconds with which to work. Where's Triolo? Right in the middle. Being spotted by Chris Weir. And now the play is on. Over the top from Melnick. Triolo turns and fires. It's off the backboards and heads up the official. Don't think that got him. He ducked out of the way, but
he's having a good laugh. So he's all right.
Closer period than the first, but the Rocks still win at 5-3 and now lead 12-3 after 2. Looking to win their second game and set up a good matchup coming up at 8 o'clock, but still a period left in our opening game of day number 3 here at the 2023 President's Cup. Third period starts in 10 minutes. We'll take the timeout and talk to you then. Oakville Rock doing what they need to do here in this game so far, but it's going to have to be a big period for the Edmonton Miners if they look to improve to 3-1, becoming the first team to 3 wins here at the President's Cup. Ladner, the only other team with that chance, along with Snake Island, actually, later tonight.
And not a bad period for Edmonton the second period.
Not at all.
You know what? The first minute, they allowed Oakville to score, and in the last minute and a few seconds, Oakville scored 2 to win that period 5-3.
Otherwise, like you said, 5-3 was the period. 12 goals off 39 shots now for Oakville.
And you did check the number of shots they got against Six Nations. 50, I think you said?
50 against Six Nations and 63 last night against Tuscarora, as it's a goal for Edmonton.
And I believe that's Darren Kinnear. Not a great goal on the wrong side of the floor and just squeeze it in. Nice flip pass by Levi Anderson. And I think Rose thinks he's got the angle covered, and it did look like it, but somehow squeezed under his arm and in.
So officially, Anderson was credited with a pair of assists in that second period. So now has 3. Simon Triolo, we showed you off the top, coming in as the scoring leaders.
Yeah, not one of Anderson's better games, that's for sure, but still, he's going to his last year at St. Joe's, one more year in the NCAA, but he still is eligible for the draft. And one scout or knowledgeable fellow I know has him ranked top 5.
Yeah, well, set off the top, buy in now, because that stock's only going to continue to rise. Not sure how much further you can rise from top 5, but definitely putting on a show here in this tournament. We'll see what Ryan Benesh has for a follow-up. Speaking of the scoring leaders in this tournament, with 11 points in yesterday's game. Triolo, all by himself, walked through 2 defenders, which he hadn't been able to do so far today.
He's starting to look a little more comfortable with that first period and much of the second period. Looks like the Rock defense was having their way with him, but he's turned it on now.
Looks like the same head that he's been using all game, but he appears to have switched to a white shaft. It's been black all game. Triolo trying anything he can. Try and have another big game here. Did see him leave last night after Edmonton's game, and he was carrying about 4 or 5 different sticks. So
he was the top scorer in the Rocky Mountain League this past season. Had a tremendous playoffs for Edmonton as well. I think he's had about 24 goals in 6 games.
Anderson couldn't find Rye, cutting through the back door, which opens up the other lane for Chris Weir to find Q in transition.
Q just cannot miss.
I'm not wearing socks, Shanny, but that would be the time to throw him.
That's right. Number 6. You know, and most of his goals have been outside shots. And on the 2-on-1, just finds the hole. Great shooters always find the opening. Nice pass by Chris Weir, but I would like to see what the shooting percentage is just for Andrew Q today.
Big is the number.
Yep.
And we talk about all the big shooters they've got over on that bench, but how many goals in the past 12, 14 hours, whatever it's been, have been scored or produced by transition? Shouldn't be a surprise with Matt Sawyer on the bench, but
yeah, that's Sawyer's game. Everything is fast. Make things happen fast. Your defense got to be fast, aggressive. Your offense, move the ball fast.
Triolo's game is just brute force as he tries the same thing. Cutting to the net there, and the shot ended up going wide. Battle over the loose ball. Triolo got interfered with. And it'll come back to the Miners with a fresh 30. Bergloff for Christensen. He'll lower the shoulder. Ball down, picks it back up. Bergloff looking for Triolo. Spins off coverage, all one-handed.
Oh, we got to get a holding call on
Yeah.
the Toronto Rocket, or sorry, the Oakville Rocket. I'm not really surprised there. I think it's probably Zach Kearney who got tied up.
There were a
We're
pair
going to
of
see a replay here. It looks like he's got his stick wrapped around Triolo. And we'll see if Triolo continues to feel it. He's got 2 goals.
one of them the only power play marker for Edmonton in this game. 1 for 3 coming in. To this, their 4th opportunity. Anderson and Triolo, hard shot. And Rose makes the catch. Turning and heading down floor was Jordan McKenna. And Jay will find him. But Hebert matches the moves with the left arm. Now Anderson back the other way, trying to create an odd man rush here for the Miners.
Triolo's gone off for a needed break as he ran back to try to stop that transition opportunity by the Rock.
Rye to Christensen. Couldn't sneak it in the near side, and him and Sheldon Burns collide over on the far corner. McKenna up for Hiltz.
That looked like he went over the line. Oh no, it's the wrong line I've got there.
Going with the face-off restraining lines now that they're killing a penalty. I had actually forgot that was a rule until you mentioned it, so glad you did. Knox facing the double team. Going to get beat by the shot clock, and he's happy to do so, taking time off that penalty, which comes down to 37 seconds now.
Good job by Knox killing some penalty time. Looked like he was hoping that he was going to draw a penalty. Oh, and this one is, whether it was intentional or not, Williamson had his arms wrapped around Marley Angus's stick. Holding the stick call. And yeah, watch this. And I think it may have been on intent. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't think the referee's going to care if you say it wasn't on purpose, because that would be a defense for everything.
Well, we've seen a few things in this tournament that had some intent behind them. Q out of the corner. Thought we would see a bit more in this game, but it settled down nicely after that first period. Ryan Lanchbury with the long outside shot. And credit the 2 officials. I believe it was Jacoby Craftsman who's out there now, and it was definitely Kyle Kennery who did the Ganawaki game yesterday.
Yeah,
against Ladner, that could have got out of control and didn't.
You know, a couple of times, I even thought that game, Rock against Tuscarora was going to get out of control. This one had the potential. When a team takes one big lead and a huge lead, and it looks like the other team's right out of it. But what I've enjoyed about this tournament is teams are more concerned about trying to get back on their game, get back into the game.
Rock tried that Josh Dalwick hidden ball trick where you leave the ball somewhere on the floor and hope nobody notices. Don't even get a shot out of the ensuing possession.
Now that one is over and back.
Milne realized it immediately. And now Lanchbury will get another opportunity. 30 seconds left in the power play. Lanchbury down towards the corner for Knox. Lanchbury, number of fakes. Ball bounces out for Lintner. Q will pick it up. Got a fresh 30 seconds, but only 15 to go on the power play. Same play into the corner. All on the left side of the floor so far. Well, Lintner and Dalwick were getting beat up on the near side. Comes Burton. Cross for Anderson.
All even again. Oh, nice play by Weir.
The Rock an abbreviated power play. They're 1 for 3 now in the game. Triolo back to the swim move and knocked away by Dilks. On the crease, Melnick just ran out of time.
Yeah, he got open because the Rock decided to double team Triolo, but you're right, just a little too late. And a good team will double late in the shot clock. That's when you want to do it.
Dawick will take this way outside. Robinson was dropped in front, and now the same thing happens through the middle, and as Robinson runs in front of Hebert, he goes through the crease. Kinnear got the opening goal of this period. Only one so far. He'll pass to Bergloff, who circles the crease. Bergloff shakes off his man, turns and fires, and Rosie there to make the save. Phil Mazuka pressuring back in the stick of Lanchbury. He'll flip it back over his head where Dawick will catch up. A 9-goal lead for the Oakville Rock. Lanchbury. A lot of movement here on the right side. Under 10 in his shot clock, though. Lanchbury runs out. Sidearm shot. Missed the net, and it'll be Burton and Triolo in transition. Trailer is Melnick. He comes in and shoots, and it's through Rose and in.
And that shot, slow motion almost, but it was a 3-on-2 that Burton starts up the floor and gives it to Melnick. I don't know if this shot hit a rock. Yeah, it hit a stick. It hit Weir's stick and kind of gave it a odd deflection and fools Nick Rose. But, 2-1 for Edmonton in this period. Even if they lose the game, Edmonton wants to come out of it with some sort of positive to move on, because you know how important it's going to be winning most of their remaining games, if not all of them.
Well, closing the gap is going to be important, too. Part of that big group with 2 wins, and this is their only game of the day. Goal differential +3 coming in. Lanchbury out of the corner. His shot down low on Hebert. Off the pad. Josh Morgan there to pick it up, and he'll head up the floor. Cross center, the flip to Kinnear. Morgan will head back to complete the change. It'll be Melnick taking his spot. Kinnear over the top. Still no room to shoot. Finds Melnick alone on the crease, and he did touch down in that blue carpet just before the shot went in past Rose. Dawick now for Lintner. Jason Knox will send it to Q. Quickly back to the near side. Dawick has it up top, wants to shoot. And Hebert down to make the save. Seidel.
Oh, nice lead pass. Oh.
Jousting match with Knox. All that happens while the ball just skips away from Christensen. Marley Angus to the outside for Q as we pass the halfway mark of this third period. Q bouncing around. Gets past his defender who dropped his stick. That was Morgan, I think, trying not to get the holding penalty. And a long way from home. The shot clock down to 5. And it will expire against Oakville.
Robinson wants to return some of the hits that he's received.
Him and Toll had a pretty fierce back and forth on that last trip. Christensen shoots over top of everybody. Follow through, got a full bucket there of Mazuka.
Oh, that
Anderson
was a nice play.
In.
Hit the post on that play. That's the most exciting we've seen Anderson in this game. We have not seen a lot from him. I know he's got a few assists, but we haven't seen the razzle-dazzle until right there.
Well, we showed it off the top. Him and Triolo coming in 1 and 2, scoring leaders. Of course, one of only 3 teams that have played 3 games so far. 4 with Snake Island.
And Knox is going to the penalty box.
It'll be an illegal cross-check, giving Edmonton their 5th power play of the game. Just the 1 goal from Triolo. 5 goals off 27 shots now in total for Edmonton. Who their next game tomorrow is against Snake Island. So Rock will get Snake Island tonight, and then they got to do
not an easy game.
Edmonton, yeah.
Snake Island has been good in every game. I know they lost to Kanawaki. Who knows whether that will come back to haunt them or not.
Well, that is another tight and smothering defense that the Muskies have brought here to this tournament. Anderson finds Triolo in front, and another.
Oh, just after the shot clock went.
Board. Yeah. That one by the shot clock. You're right, Shanny. Chris Weir slowly starts the play. Rock shorthanded here for 1:15. They've got 13 goals off 46 shots as we're now under 8 minutes to play in regulation.
Lintner looking for a call. Didn't get it.
Big high step from Marley Angus. The bench wanting Edmonton to double the ball. Play worked as Toll brings it up over the center to Triolo. We'll have 50 seconds left of power play time. Melnick got tripped up. Christensen finds the trailer in Rye, and Anderson will fire that one right off of Dilks, right in front of him. Trello, Anderson playing catch. High defense comes out. Christensen will skip the shot wide. It bounces off the glass, but back down for Triolo.
Lots of time in the shot clock, 15 to go.
And 20 left in the power play. Trollo shot in on Rose. Rebound comes back to Adam J. He's got to deal with 3 Miners players, including Melnick. And Jay is going to break free.
He did well to get that ball over the restraining line within 10 seconds.
Lanchbury switched hands to get free. Back up for Lintner. Sidearm shot through Duff. Dahlwick shot also wide. That'll be a shot clock violation against Oakville.
I want to give credit to the referees. There's a lot happening behind the plays,
yeah,
and the referees are paying attention.
Kinnear with Hostrauser in front of him. Kinnear will go back up top. His sidearm shot hits Rose. And then as Hostrauser turned up floor, he was filled in by Darren Kinnear. But now does find an open Alex Q down floor. And Hebert stops it with the right leg. Anderson back in. Puts the brakes on as Melnick was picking 2 Rock players out of the way. Under 10 on the shot clock. Christensen stole that pass, I think, that was intended for Triolo. Triolo kind of looked at him. Then the shot bounces off a body and goes in the corner. Anderson and Triolo having a conversation now on the bench as Triolo tells him what he's going to do next time they get on the floor. Only 5 minutes to go here for Edmonton. Q over the top, gets tripped up, still passes the ball. 5 on the shot clock here for Oakville. You got run over after colliding with a fallen defender.
Another good save by Hebert. I'll tell you right now, my vote for the player of the game for Edmonton is Hebert. Oh, here we have a fight.
Gloves are down.
Kim and Hostrauser, oh my gosh.
Kim came on the floor and went right at Hostrauser, gave him a couple words, and Hostrauser's got the right working.
And to the left.
Another right connects. Hostrauser looked like he was going for the takedown. He's going to get a couple uppercuts before that.
Hostrauser switches hands.
And some more rights, and Kim ate all of them as Hostrauser is saluted off the floor.
Well, I'll give Kim credit for standing up to Hostrauser. Well, I mean, it looks like Kim looked for it, and he stood up and gave a few shots, took a lot of shots, but not embarrassed by any means. And I will still stick with my claim that Hostrauser's probably the best fighter I've seen out there now in this time.
Looked like Kinnear was going to try and either take over for Kim or break it up. As Triolo comes on and has words with the bench, you can see there was some damage to the face of Kim, and no wonder. He ate a lot of shots as the chirping has
ramped up. It sure has.
Christensen overruns the loose ball. Got a bit of help as it came back. Goes sky high now, back for Kinnear. McKenna. And we did check with referee-in-chief Dale Sett, who said it's 5 in a game.
So, yeah, both those players will be back in their next game.
Which for Oakville comes tonight at 8 o'clock. Hostrauser is the captain, one of the defensive leaders for this team, so an important piece of the puzzle. Kim, the face-off taker for the Miners. Rock looked like they're in no hurry to get the ball anywhere closer to the crease. One shot away from 50 here with 3.5 to go. Conversation there between Duff and Lanchbury behind the play, but
I mean,
not much going to happen there, I don't think. Anderson.
3 minutes to go. I'm not expecting a fight, but I would not be surprised. The animosity has ramped up a little bit, it seems. And I think a penalty going to the Toronto Rock.
It'll be Weir for holding the stick. He got a piece of Anderson, who was trying to cut past him.
But this continues to be a pretty good period for the Edmonton Miners, who have outscored the Rock 2-1.
Yeah, and had them outscored for the majority of that second period as well, as you said. So if not for that
late in the period and early in the period.
Yeah, and I was going to say the monster first that Oakville put up, this would be a much different story. Miners started with Cam McLeod. He was out, back in, and then out in favor of Matt Hebert. Under 3 to play in regulation. 6th power play for Edmonton, and it's a power play that has scored at will, but just 1 for 5 here this morning. I guess it's afternoon now. I don't know. I've lost all sense of calendar and timing over the last couple days. Adam J. to Lanchbury. I leave when they turn the lights off, and I eat when the food shows up. That's kind of the schedule we're in right now. Lanchbury, chased by Seidel. He's found an open spot in the corner to dump that ball as Rock want to get out of here without any more incident.
No, I think you're right. They want to stay out of trouble. They've got another game today. They want to be as healthy as possible.
And it's a big one, the 2-1 Snake Island Muskies. What are they going to look like with the longest break of any team in this tournament? Down floor, McKenna on the run scores.
Nice play from start to finish. Nick Rose throws the leading pass to McKenna. Let's watch this. He scoops it up, looks up the floor. And Rose is so good at this. He throws it ahead of the player. McKenna, good read to find that ball and great finish. Put it between the legs of Hebert. A big assist for Nick Rose.
And with Kim ejected, it'll be Hawkins coming in to take the face off. Moved early, and it's awarded to the Rock, who get double teamed over on the...
And that's 50 shots now for the Oakville Rock. Third game in a row with over 50.
Yeah. Nick Demood, get yourself hydrated. Gonna be busy tonight. Goaltender for Snake Island.
Demood has been one of the best goalies in the tournament from what I've seen.
Bergloff and Kinnear can't match each other. No Anderson on that offensive set.
And with, no need to get the ball over half of Toronto Rock or the Oakville Rock. They will just kill time and likely throw it away.
And they've done that the last couple times they've had it as soon as someone gets close.
And Hawkins looks like he wants to start something with Weir. I'm suspecting that the message from the Rock, there's a punch.
That's enough now.
I am suspecting the message from the Rock bench was to stay out of trouble.
And back this way, Morgan grabs fistful of the collar.
And that's penalties going one way. And looks like Seidel is having conversations too. I don't think you're going to provoke the Rock into a fight at this point. There is no point. No point for them to get into any shenanigans with 25 seconds left in a game. They're winning 14-5, especially since they have a huge game later on today.
Starting to dish out 10-minute misconducts now. That's what Mazuka and Morgan were given. I'm not sure what Mazuka did to earn himself a dime, but
yeah.
Rock on another power play. This one's going to go against their stats as Q works on his stick tricks. So another convincing game for the Oakville Rock, who will improve to 2-1, the same record as the Snake Island Muskies, who they'll face tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. And I said it before, Shanny, the struggles of game number 1 against Six Nations, all forgotten now.
Seems like a distant memory now, yes.
This Oakville team is rolling, and they've had their eyes set on Saturday for over a year, and that's where they want to be.
Now, who are you giving players of the game to? I know we are not actually giving it. Who would you pick? I'll let you go first, and I'll tell you.
And Andrew Q, 6 goals. I think
I agree with you there.
He won it yesterday, though, so.
No, you know what, though?
I don't know how you ignore it.
He's the right pick. You can't ignore it. What is it? You got 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points.
How many saves is that for Rosie? 26?
I'm not giving it to Rosie today. Lanchbury, I think they might give it to, but I think you got to give it to Q. The guy scored 6 goals, everything. But Lanchbury's a great game, too. 5 or 6 assists. You counted 6, so he's got 8-point nights for both of them. And I kind of think they'll probably give it to Lanchbury for that reason. But, if I think a guy has a 6-goal game, you got to give it to him. And for me, I'm giving it to Hebert on Edmonton.
Yeah,
he came in and stopped the bleeding and had a good game.
That'd be a great pick. Every time I've seen someone from the box named players of the game. They're always looking at the score sheet, though. So
yeah.
Anderson 3 assists.
We're telling you the correct ones.
Well, they give it to Christensen on offense.
What did he do? They've all played good games, but
Got him for 2
like what
points, a
Hebert.
goal and an assist.
I liked what Hebert did.
And it is going to be Lanchbury.
Well, we called it right. They didn't want to give 2 hats to Q. But he does have a brother he could have given one to. But
he scored 2 hat tricks in this game.
Yes.
And doesn't get a hat for it.
But you know what? Like Ryan Lanchbury, an excellent game as well. 8 points, 6 assists, along with 2 goals.
There are your players of the game in the 14-5 Oakville Rock victory. They move to 2-1 here in the tournament. Edmonton drops to 2-2. And Tuscarora and Ganawaki will take over next at 2 p.m. local time. Ladner, Six Nations at 5 before the Oakville Rock return to the floor to face Snake Island, our primetime matchup at 8 p.m. Shandy and I will step aside. The next voices you'll hear are Jake Elliott and Pat Gregoire coming up at 2 p.m., which is just over an hour from now. Hope you stay tuned in for day number 3 of the 2023 President's Cup from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville, Ontario.
We want to thank our partners for their support of the 2023 President's Cup. Bar Down, Ice River Green Bottle Company, Gatorade, Big Chief Meat Snacks, and the Oakville Pump and Patio. Thank you for your support and helping all the competing teams as they chase the Prezi.